Create Part 3 of the story, HOA. Put 96 homes on my land as a long, cinematic, documentary-style video. 10 to 13 minutes. This episode should cover the dramatic courtroom showdown where the homeowner finally presents the original land deed. Maintain a suspenseful and emotional tone with high-quality visuals of a real American courthouse, legal documents, courtrooms, intense close-ups, and dramatic reactions. Structure 1. Opening tension as the homeowner walks into the courthouse. 2. Show the HOA. Board members confident, believing they will win. 3. Lawyer preparations. Document folders, stamps, maps, diagrams of the 96 homes. 4. Courtroom scenes with judge, attorneys, conversations. Visual storytelling. No real faces. 5. Build suspense as arguments begin. HOA denies wrongdoing. Blames contractors. Miscommunication. 6. The turning moment. The homeowner's lawyer presents the original deed. Close-ups of signatures, dates, boundaries, judges. Reaction, HOAS. Shock and panic. 7. Show legal comparison. Old land maps versus new construction. 8. Reveal how the HOA approved massive development without verifying ownership. 9. Emotional reactions. Courtroom tension. Dramatic music. 10. End with a powerful cliffhanger. Judge preparing to deliver the ruling. HOA losing control. Visual style. Cinematic lighting. Dramatic contrast. Smooth transitions. Slow zooms. Premium documentary feel. Add captions, map animations, legal document overlays, and high-quality American suburban scenes. Tone, intense, suspenseful, professional, engaging. Perfect for a viral HOA court drama. The day had finally come. The courthouse doors felt impossibly heavy, each pound a measure of the weight I carried on my shoulders. Inside, the sterile air buzzed with a low, nervous energy. Across the room, I saw them. The HOA board. They were laughing amongst themselves, their faces a mask of smug confidence. They looked like they were at a country club luncheon, not a federal court hearing. They had their expensive lawyers, their endless resources, and they believed they had already won. My own lawyer, a man whose quiet determination had been my only anchor, gave me a reassuring nod. Our table was a fortress of paper. Folders overflowed with documents. Maps were spread out showing the property lines, and architectural diagrams detailed every one of the 96 houses that now stood on my family's land. Each stamp, each signature, was a piece of the puzzle we were about to assemble for the judge. This wasn't just about land. It was about my history, my grandfather's legacy, and the home he built with his own hands. The courtroom hushed as the judge entered. The gavel fell with a sharp crack that echoed the breaking point I had reached months ago. The proceedings began. The HOAS lawyer stood up, his voice smooth and practiced. He painted a picture of a simple misunderstanding, a series of unfortunate but innocent errors. He blamed the developers for moving too quickly, the surveyors for supposed inaccuracies, and a vague miscommunication for the rest. He spoke of the HOAS commitment to the community, their tireless work to improve property values. According to him, they were the victims here, tangled in a mess, not of their own making. They denied everything. They denied knowing the land was private. They denied ignoring my repeated warnings and legal notices. They portrayed me as an opportunist, someone trying to extort a blameless community organization. I watched the board members nod along, their expressions of feigned sincerity making my blood boil. They were masters of deflection, shifting blame with the ease of seasoned politicians. Their entire defense was built on a foundation of lies, a house of cards they believed was impenetrable. My lawyer let them talk, letting them dig their own grave with every word. The air grew thick with their denials, and for a moment, a sliver of doubt crept in. What if the judge believed them? Then, it was our turn. My lawyer stood, his demeanor a stark contrast to the HOA's flashy attorney. He was calm, methodical. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He began by presenting the evidence of my attempts to contact them. The certified letters they ignored, the emails they never answered, the voicemails they deleted. He laid out the timeline, showing how they fast-tracked the development permits, pushing everything through with suspicious speed. He addressed the court. The opposition claims this was a simple mistake, a clerical error. But the evidence will show this was not a mistake. It was a deliberate, calculated land grab, executed with a breathtaking level of arrogance. The HOA's lawyer objected, but the judge waved him down, her eyes fixed on my attorney. The tension in the room was a physical presence. The board members shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their confident smiles beginning to fade. They thought they had controlled the narrative, but the real story was just beginning to unfold. My lawyer paused, letting the weight of his words settle. He turned to our table and picked up a single, leather-bound portfolio. "And now," he said, his voice ringing with quiet authority, "we present the one document the HOA never bothered to look for, the one piece of paper that unravels their entire case." He walked towards the judge's bench. This was the moment. He opened the portfolio and carefully removed a fragile, yellowed document. It was the original land deed, signed by my grandfather over 70 years ago. The paper was so old it was almost translucent in the courtroom light. He placed it on the projector, and the image flashed onto the large screen for everyone to see. The silence in the courtroom was absolute. You could see the ornate, flowing script of my grandfather's signature. The date, clear as day, and most importantly, the hand-drawn map with the precise, legally recorded boundaries of our property. The boundaries that had been violated 96 times over. The judge leaned forward, her eyes scanning every detail on the screen. The confidence on the faces of the HOA board members evaporated, replaced by a wave of shock, then confusion, and finally, pure, unadulterated panic. Their lawyer was speechless, his jaw slack. They had built their case on the assumption that this document was lost to time, that my claim was based on nothing but old family stories. They were wrong. My lawyer didn't stop there. He then projected the modern survey maps, used for the new development right next to the original deed. The overlay was devastating. The animated graphics showed the new property lines slicing directly through my land. House after house, street after street, all built on territory that was never theirs to sell. He presented internal HOA emails, leaked by a whistleblower, that showed board members discussing the unclaimed parcel and the potential profits from developing it. They knew, or at least they had strong reason to suspect, and chose to look the other way. They had gambled, betting millions of dollars that I wouldn't have the proof, and they had lost. The courtroom descended into chaos. The HOA lawyer was frantically whispering to his clients, who were now pale and visibly shaken. One board member buried his face in his hands. Their carefully constructed reality was crumbling before their eyes. The judge stared at the screen, then at the HOA's legal team, her expression turning from neutral curiosity to cold fury. She had been lied to in her own courtroom. The gavel slammed down again, a thunderclap demanding order. The judge looked from the panicked faces of the HOA board to me. The room fell silent once more, every person holding their breath. She cleared her throat, her gaze unwavering and intense. The fate of 96 homes, of my family's legacy, and of an entire community's leadership now rested on the words she was about to speak. She picked up the original deed, holding my family's history in her hands, and began to deliver her ruling. Thanks for watching. The final verdict is coming in part 4, so make sure you resubscribe so you don't miss the stunning conclusion to this unbelievable story.